Hi, this is Kayla Murphy from the Fabric Garden in Madison, Maine and fabricgarden.com. It's holiday time and every week I've been showing a new machine. All our Janome machines are on sale through the 31st with a free gift. And we also have in-store financing with Synchrony. You can check the website or stop in for details. So I've talked about a nice portable machine. I've talked about a big, long, nice sewing and quilting machine. I've talked about the two different long arms that we have and the nice embroidery machine. So what's left? What's left? I'm going to say a word that I bet will send shivers down your spine, because sometimes people have had these and it's just drove them crazy. I'm talking about sergers. Now, back in the 80s, we did a lot of sewing with clothing. We still do sewing with clothing. Some people quilt with them and things like that. If you've ever worked on a serger, you know how difficult it is to thread them. So I would like to show you the new Janome AirThread serger. That lovely word air is going to be really nice to work with. So this is a machine, new machine we have from Janome. I'm going to show you a little bit about threading the loopers, which are always those really hard areas to get to. So come on over. This is the Janome AirThread serger. 4 threads. We have lay-in tensions, just like your regular sewing machine. We have pressure. We have a needle threader on a serger. Nice, easy dials. And I'm going to open this up inside of the serger. We have 2 needles that go up and down that are going to be right and left needles here, which is going to give you just like a sewing machine, up and down sewing. A serger is going to cut the fabric, so we have a clean edge, and you're going to have an upper looper, which is going to run the upper side of the fabric, and a lower looper, which loops the bottom. And that connects right on the edge. So that's really the most basic 4-thread seam for good for finishing. So I'm going to thread my loopers, and we have a lower looper, which is going to be the green, long, lower, and upper, which is the smaller one. My positioning finger right in here is going to be set for the green. I'm going to pull out a bunch of thread, about a good foot or so, and I'm going to put the end of my thread in the little hole right in here. So I'm just going to take about 1 inch of thread with my tweezers and push it right into the hole like that. We do have a nice amount of extra thread hanging, so that when I lift my lever and push, there, your thread magically comes right through the lower looper. Easy, just like that. Upper looper, same idea. I just want to move this little dial over to the red right in here for my upper looper. Same thing. Pull out a bunch of threads, take your end of your tweezer, and I'm going to put down about 1 inch of thread, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use my little lever, just like so. Lift up, you hear a little click, and then go, and there you go. Loopers are all threaded. As easy as that. So I can right now, I'm ready to sew. I have my needles threaded just like a regular needle right in here, 2 needles. We are now ready to sew. So I'm going to turn this lever. This was for threading. This is for sewing. So I'm clear right in here, and I'm ready to go. So you might say, what do you do with a serger? Most importantly, you have the regular 4-thread seam. Good overcasting seam. Great for knits. Same seam, but you do have the stretch, so if you're doing your lycras or your knits or your polar fleece, you can. There's also nice, easy adjustments to do a rolled hem, and a rolled hem is a very narrow seam that you see on scarves. You can do napkins, edges nice and easy, no more turning under for napkins. We also, with changing what's called the differential feed, you can actually gather and do some adjusting for ruffles or for curtains. This is also with a 3-thread over edge on the edge of the hem. Sergers are great for knits. This is also what's called a lettuce leaf. When you stretch with the differential, you can do a little leaf, good for collars and for ruffles. Decorative threads, you can use pearl cotton on the upside or in the upper looper, and that allows you to do a nice decorative seam. We did on a little coaster here, and also a very nice polar fleece. People do a lot with polar fleece. This is a 3-thread wide overcast seam that you can do with your serger. Probably one of the most common things nowadays is we have lots of beautiful rayons. Rayon is a very thin fabric, a little more difficult to sew than cotton, but this is a wonderful little top we have a great pattern for in fabrics, and this is as simple a seam as it gets. It's a 4-thread seam, so it allows you to cut, sew, and overcast all in one. And that's what we use when you do garments or rayons. So I'd like to show you the most basic 4-thread seam. We have our 2 needles working up and down, and we have our loopers looping. We're set up on regular stitch length, differentials just on 1, and our standard tension is all adjusted. So a serger has a really long feed system, so you don't even have to lift up the presser foot. It's going to cut the edge of your material. And because we don't have reverse like a regular sewing machine, you just chain off. So right now I have a perfect seam, nice and sturdy. I can open this up and you overcast quite well. We also have what's called differential feed. That feed system of the machine can change, and that's simply by a little button right in here. If I go to a higher number, my front feeds are working faster. I can change my stitch length, and what I have now is I've actually just started gathering. And because we have that nice 4th thread, my inner needle can now become a basting stitch for you. So you can adjust your seam like so. I'd like to show you a rolled hem, and I'm going to take a minute, and I'm going to take out 1 needle. And we need to use only 1 needle, which is my inside or narrow needle, my right needle. So I'm taking out my left needle, and I'm going to cut my thread, put that right in there, and tighten up. So I put my needle right where I take it out. Tighten your set screw, because we don't want that little screw falling down into the serger. So I'm just going to tighten that baby up. Now, easy to do a rolled hem. I'm going to just tighten that up a little bit more. There we go. So, nice dials over here. I'm going to go back to 1 on differential. Right here, you're going to see R right there. So I'm set up. What we can do on machine, we do not have to play with that tensions. That's the beauty of this. We can just go to tight, just like that. That's going to be for rolled hem. Last but not least, we don't want a wide seam. So I would like to do a narrow seam, and this is what's called the stitch finger. See how simple it is to move back and forth? We're not screwing and unscrewing plates. Just pull that back. And what I have right now is going to be a narrow seam, and I'm going to lift up. And how simple. Nice power. I'm going to just move this little guy out of the way. That was my left needle that I took out. And I'll just take a minute if I could. Just give it a little clip. And right now, beautiful, beautiful. Can't get any nicer. Beautiful rolled hem. So simple. So this is a little bit about the Janome AirThread serger that we do have, and we'd love to be able to show this to you. We do offer our free instructional lessons, and this is one of 4 different sergers that we sell. So we have a lot of different options for you. So we'd love to have you come in and show you, but if not, please continue having a happy time making your holiday sewing projects, because we're getting down to the wire. Thanks so much. Take care.